Bohn, joined now by one of the newest members of the UFC roster, Kody Steele, man. I know they made you wait a little bit longer than you were hoping for, but you finally got it. It's been a couple days. Just how's it all settled in since you got that done on Tuesday?
How's it going? Yeah, it's been settling in a bit now. It's the last, I would say, like the last couple of days. I don't really sleep very much after like competing and stuff, but so it was like, and like a lot was just happening at once. But now that it's kind of like calming down, I'm able to like register it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, because you stuck in Vegas, right? And you went to the Fight Pass Invitational, or no?
Yeah, I stayed. I went out and watched the jiu-jitsu matches, so they were sick too. There were some good matches.
Yeah, that's good. So Vegas has been treating you well, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm loving it here.
Yeah, that's good, man. Was there anything like at the Fight Pass Invitational that you wanted to see specifically, or were happy you were there for to witness in person?
I was really curious, and I really wanted to watch the Renato Canuto and PJ Barch match.
Mm-hmm.
I like just like those two in general, like one of my two of my favorite grapplers to watch. So just like them having a match with each other, I was like, dude, I gotta go watch that. I was like, I'm not missing that one.
Yeah, to deliver up to your expectations.
Yeah, I was just sick. It was going back and forth the whole time, and freaking Renato hit this like sick scissor flying takedown to heel hook. I was like, oh, that guy's a savage.
Yeah. Do you enjoy watching mixed martial arts or grappling more?
I would definitely say MMA. I like to watch the grappling a lot just because it's like a lot of my friends are still in it and doing it, so I like to like keep up with it and just like keep learning too, and see who the next guys I can learn from. And then, but when it comes to like MMA, like I'll watch MMA all day.
Yeah. When you're watching them and trying to learn, as you said, is that for like your no-gi grappling or your MMA grappling, would you say, or all of the above?
I would say it's a little all of the above. Like I just want to. I like to see what the new things are going on and stuff like that, and just like yeah, keep up with the new guys coming through too. I'm like, and I still like like I was like sitting at the Fight Pass Invitational, and I was like, dude, I want to get in here and start scrapping on some of these guys. I still want to compete. Like I want to compete with these guys, but I'm trying to focus on the MMA. But I still want to get in on the grappling matches.
Yeah, when you went on Contender Series, obviously you delivered, you got the performance. I think, like, regardless of circumstances, you would have got the contract. But given what happened, did you go in there like knowing that you maybe had to still do something special, or did you feel that, given what Dana said about you sticking in the fight, if you had maybe like not got the performance you absolutely dreamed of, that they still would have maybe cut you a little slack and brought you on?
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of thought about it, but I think it's just like it's in my blood, like every time, like even if you like ever watch me do jujitsu, like my matches aren't ever really boring. It's just hard for me to like not just keep on going forward and trying to press action. So yeah, and like once I saw the cage, the lights, and then I saw Dana, and then I saw my people there too, I was just like, yeah, there's no chance. Like I'm gonna need to show out. I got to put on a performance for everybody. There's got to be a good show for everyone.
Do you think you were at an advantage a little bit, given that you pretty much went through the entire experience minus the fight once already a few weeks before?
Yeah, maybe for sure a little bit, because I remember like when I was doing it the first time, I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is super, like this is dope. But like I've in like I said, and through jujitsu, I've done like big shows and things like that. But like obviously there's nothing that compares to the UFC. But definitely like doing all the pre-check and all the cameras and them moving you around, like it is a lot. And I felt like this time I knew exactly, like I knew I was going to go check with the doctors here, do this, they're going to put me in this room for a little bit, and then I was going to warm up and be ready, and then boom. So like it didn't really feel like anything like different. And then it just got crazy when I made the walk, when I was about to walk to the cage. Like that was the only thing I didn't get to do. So
Yeah.
like then I was like, oh, this is new.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you delivered, you got the contract, and it's almost the 2-year anniversary of your MMA debut coming up October 22nd. Are you surprised how quick this happened? I mean, I know like with Contender Series, there's opportunities. If you start undefeated, you could maybe get in there as low as like 4-0 or 3-0 or something. But to be here less than 2 years after your first pro fight, did that happen faster than you thought it would?
Yeah, a little bit, but I also had an idea that this is where I was going to be, like I think after my third or fourth fight, I was like, when they're telling me when the Contenders is going to be, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I can rack off like 3 more wins, and then once I do that, I'll have just enough, a little bit more experience, and I should be ready for the Contenders, and ended up working out perfect.
Yeah. And forgive me if you've talked about this a lot. I'm sure you have, but you're 29 and just started your first pro fight 2 years ago. How did you get into MMA, like on the later side of the game, I guess, maybe relatively speaking?
Um, a little bit. It took me a little bit later, just because when I started martial arts, I wanted to do MMA. Like I didn't like. I was just like, I just want to do MMA. I want to fight. But my professor was telling me like, hey man, like you're just a white belt. You just started doing this stuff. You're just like out of high school. Like maybe let's wait till you get their purple belt at least before you go take a fight. And I was like, all right, cool, fine, I'll do that. And then like later on, I got my purple belt, but then I ended up training with these two kids, the Taggart brothers, and they're like savages. At the time I knew, and I was like, man, these kids can like teach me something. So I just, waited, and I was like, I'm gonna just keep training, keep competing with these kids and keep learning from these kids. And then all of a sudden jujitsu just kind of started blowing up, like started getting a lot more popular. Like there was like some money to chase in there, and there was like super fights, things on stages and stuff like that. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna keep doing this for a little bit. And I kind of just got stuck in it. And then I was like having like matches. I was traveling all over the world competing in different promotions. And then once I got my black belt, I did a little bit more competing, but then I was just like, I kind of got dull with it. I was like, I don't really know. Like, I mean, if this is it, then this is it. Like, I don't really like, like, this isn't even what I wanted to do in the first place. I always wanted to do MMA, like, what the heck? So after that, then I kind of took like maybe like a year off from grappling, just to focus on striking and trying to learn something new, and put it all together. And then like maybe I should have waited a little bit longer to take fights, but I was like, oh, fuck that. I just want to like jump in there and like let's just get this ball rolling. I'll learn on the job kind of thinking mentality.
Well, I think it's worked out so far. I mean, if you look at what you're doing in the cage, I think if you were to say you've only been professional for less than 2 years, that's quite deceptive. But you've obviously been putting in the work, so it feels like a lot longer than that. Maybe that October 2022 start date is a little bit deceptive, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So no intimidation when you look around the lightweight division. You feel like there's not that much catching up to do. You're right there.
Yeah, I feel like, like all my fights, like when I was living in Austin, and I was only training jujitsu, only training Muay Thai. Like I was never training MMA. I didn't even have like an MMA coach. I was just like in the garage with my boys talking about maybe this type of strategy and hitting the bag and just like hitting the mitts, and then going to jujitsu class and trying to wall wrestle with people who don't know how to wall wrestle. And then I would go take fights and fight in a cage. And like even just being inside of a cage was so new and strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I moved out here to Vegas, like I've been living out here for like 7 months now, and I feel like I've gotten so much better just being out here in a short amount of time. So like I'm still a baby in this sport. I'm only 7-0. It's not that many fights, and I'm still learning a lot every day. And I'm like learning on the job. Like every fight I do, I pick something new up. So I say in like 2 more years, like that's when like you're gonna really start seeing me like really start to shine.
When you're kind of hanging around the apex at the invitational and stuff, did you bump into Shawn or Dana or Hunter or anything and get the chance to maybe talk about when the debut could come or anything kind of on the horizon?
I didn't actually. I didn't run into them or see them much at all. I don't think. Maybe I saw Dana like across the room, but he was with like a bunch of people. But yeah, I don't know. I'm open to whatever. I think my manager was telling me that they want me to just like chill for a little bit, just because I had these
Yeah.
two weight cuts back to back and stuff like that. But I told him, I was like, once I'm healed up, I'm ready to like go. So just let me know. I'll be in shape. I'll be ready. But I know if I don't fight this year, like I know next year, like I want to be like extremely active. Like I told him, like we gotta go. Like I want to fight like 3 to 4 times next year. I want to be an active fighter.
Yeah, that would be great. How now, since you mentioned that was going to be my next question, like how are you feeling after doing the back-to-back weight cuts? Was that a difficult few weeks there to come off the back of that and keep it low and have to do it again?
A little bit, not, it just wasn't fun, you know. Like I feel fine. I think I lost a little bit of like weight, so like now I'm just gonna try to like lift some weights and like get myself back up a little bit.
Mm.
But yeah, honestly, like it was just all mental, you know. Like I went to go fight, the fight didn't happen, and then like the next day I took a break. The day after that, I was back in the gym, back in the classes, back to grinding, back to drilling, back to diet. So that was a little rough, but you know, like I was just like, it's just mental. I just got to stay strong and finish this thing strong, and it'll be good. And like the fact that I did it and I handled it, just like, you know, gives me more confidence that I can do these things. And like if they need me on 2 weeks notice, like I'm the guy to call, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your confidence must be through the roof, especially some of the stuff Dana's been saying. I mean, people can say what they want about how much enthusiasm Dana White gives as a promoter in 2024, but when he's talking about you and the guy who like basically pulled out of the fight right before, like that's some of his best stuff. That's like prime Dana White. Do you feel like, you know, does that hype you up a little bit, the way he talks about you and just the way everything went down with the first attempt?
Yeah, it definitely gives me a lot of confidence, you know, for sure. Like, I mean, for me, like I've always believed in myself, and I already knew kind of like in my head, I'm like, I know where I'm going in this game, and I know what I'm going to be doing, and it's just a matter of time till people start figuring it out and like start believing it too. But you know, to have people around me say good things, or like, you know, someone like Dana who says I have a good, promising future in this sport, and he's excited to watch me, and he knows I'm going to do good. It definitely feels good and reassures me that, you know, like I said, like he was saying, like the hype is real, you know.
Mm-hmm. And just last thing, lightweight is obviously insane. I think they have over 120 fighters signed to this division. So I don't even know if you know have a name or anything like that. But is there like a certain type of style you're interested in fighting in this division, like kind of off the bat? I mean, there's pretty much everything out there with all these fighters. So is there something that interests you that you would like to test yourself against?
You know, I feel like I like me and like my management, like they did a really good job at giving me fights when I was coming up. You know, like they made sure I was battle tested before I got to this point. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I fought almost all the styles. Like I fought the strikers, I fought the grapplers, I fought the wrestlers, I fought the tough, explosive, knockout power kind of guys, and I handled them all. You know, and I feel like the best thing with my style is I can kind of like adapt to anyone, you know. Like if the guy wants to strike and he's got a hole in the ground, it's going to be an easy day at work for me, you know. And if the guy has good grappling and but he's got a little weak, he's like a little weak on the feet, like that's another easy job for easy day in the office for me. So like I can kind of like bend however I need to fight. But yeah, the division is stacked and it's packed, but you know, I'm very confident in my skills and what I can do to get these dubs.
For sure, man. Well, I look forward to seeing what's to come. Obviously, getting in the UFC undefeated, a huge accomplishment, and now we'll see where it takes you, man. So, congratulations. Glad you've been able to kind of celebrate a little bit, and hopefully, you'll be able to get back to work soon here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, brother. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.